Okay, so making a fuel cell for the HR, got to fill this hole so the boot floor is flat so the fuel cell can go in. First, making a template out of cardboard. See how this fits. Okay, so that's the general idea. Have a flat floor like that, and then the fuel cell will sit on top of that, half on top of that, half on top of the boot floor. Now I've just got to cut out around the edges because it's curved on the edges. It's not just a straight square box. I've trimmed the edges now and I'm pretty happy with the way it fits. Now I'll have to trace it onto some aluminium and then get it folded up. I probably should explain why I'm doing this. A couple of reasons. First reason, I want to put the radiator underneath the boot floor because I have not got enough room up front for a decent intercooler, and the fuel tank hung below the boot floor, so I needed to lift it up, so bring it up into the boot. So I thought make a fuel cell, and also the factory tank is 57 litres, which running on E85 is not enough. This tank that I'm making will be around 80 litres, so that should give me a lot bigger fuel range when running on E85 with a V8. So I welded it all up and drilled all the holes. So I'll just put it in and now I'll start on the fuel tank. Fits like a glove. It's exactly how I wanted it. Okay, so this is the fuel tank. This is the internals of it. All the baffling to stop fuel sloshing around. And there's that's going to be the surge tank where the fuel pumps sit. I just got to drill holes now into the compartments at the bottom to allow fuel into the surge tank. And then I got to weld the lid on, and then I got to sort out the fill points and the breather. So this is where the tank sits in the boot, and before I finish weld the tank, I've got to make this filler pipe line up. I've cut, it's not the factory filler pipe, it's one off a HT Holden. I've cut it, shortened it and raised it a bit so I can get it to line up with the side of the fuel tank so it can be filled from outside the car rather than in the boot. And then I've got to put a breather on it, and then I'll weld it all together and weld the fuel pump hanger bracket on. Alright, so I've got the fuel tank all welded up, all the sides. That's the surge tank there that comes down through the floor of the tank. So now I've got to weld the brackets on to mount the tank to the boot floor, and then I've got to weld the ring on for the fuel pump hanger, also the ring on for the fuel level sender, and then I've got to weld the spouts in for the filler and also the breather tube.